guys, my name's Aaron. Thank you guys, everybody, for being here at the camp. Thanks for Christian for putting on the camp. I guess I'm the guy starting it off, so here we go. I'm going to show you guys some attacks from closed guard using the lapel and some different variations depending on what they do, some counters and things like that. So we'll just get right into it. So in the closed guard, obviously right now everybody's gis and things like that are completely tucked in. That's not always going to be the case in the course of a sparring match or something like that. So if it's all the way tucked in, I like to start opening it up, just loosening it. If you start grabbing and stuff like that, it's going to clue him in that you're looking to do something with the lapel. So I just kind of open him up. You know, moving them around, you're here, you open them up. Okay, so a lot of guys are going to try to, in the guard, they want posture, right? If I have him broken down, this is not good for the guard passer. A guard passer wants posture in order to pass. So he's here, he's got his hands and thing. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to break his posture down and then start doing the lapel attacks that I'm trying to do. So one thing that I really like to do, and I use this a lot, is I call it a swim move. I don't know, maybe other people call it something different. But basically, if he's here, if his arms are in close like this, I want to put my hands inside like I'm asking Jesus for forgiveness, and then I'm coming here. Okay? Jesus, we forgive us. All right. So, inside. And when you do this, guys, you want to move your head off to the side a little bit. Otherwise, we end up doing dark arts or knocking heads or kissing. I don't know, something. So, I'm here off to the side, and I'm holding. Okay? This is the first step. So, I want to hold him. I like to grab this here, and I want to keep him pinned down. That way he can't posture back up again. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, if this is already out, great. It's still tucked into his belt a little bit now, so I'm just pulling it up. Just pulling it open. You might have to move your leg a little bit if you can get the bottom of it. And this is what I want. I want it, see right here with his armpits coming up, his shoulder. That means it's all the way out. So I want it here, and then I'm just going to grip it and pull this, my elbow down tight. Okay? Does everybody understand that so far? Okay? So I want it here tight. So this is basically just the first step. So let's just, we're gonna practice that first, because that's probably the most important thing of the whole series, is starting to get the grip started set up. So basically, here again, and there are other ways to set this up, but we'll just show this one for now. Here. When you do that, one key thing I didn't mention, when you come inside, you have to use your legs to pull him back. If I just do this, what happens? We're just playing a kid's game, or something like this, right? So I have to use my legs to break his posture down. I'm inside. So that's one thing I forgot to mention. So we're here. We're here, we're pulling this out, and we're gripping it. And just holding it like that, okay? Let's just try that a few times, just to get used to that breaking down position, and then we'll start setting it up and then doing some attacks. Does anybody have any questions about this so far? Nothing? All right, let's try that, all right? 1, 2. All right, does everybody got a pretty good understanding of what we're doing so far? Yeah. Pretty good? Okay. All right, now we're going to escalate the situation. So we've already gone through the steps. We're here. We're controlling. We're pulling this out. We're pulling this across, okay? Now we're just hanging out. We're just waiting, okay? Now we're going to do, we're basically passing it to the other hand. So what we're going to do, and this will vary a lot depending on who you're doing it to, the size of you, how big your arms are, but I'll just show you a couple general ways, okay? So one way I like to do, I like to wiggle my body like I'm a fish. Like this, okay? So what I'm doing here, sometimes I'll come up to the top and put it over the top like a little monkey holding onto a bar, right? So I'll take it out from here to the bottom, and I'll take it here. And then a couple things will happen. So if I can come here, I'll shift my body, because if I'm here in front of him, it's hard to get my hand around him, right? But if I go like this, I can push my arm up through pretty easily. And then I hand it off to the other hand. You guys get that? Okay, so we're here. We were here to start. I came over here. keeping control. Now, not everybody has to do this step. Now, if the guy on top is like very big and strong, you might not be able to hold him so well with one hand, or if you're lighter than him or something. So I just kind of use it as a little pit stop here, just to keep him tight and keep the control. So then I'm here, I move just a little bit, the hand comes inside, and I pass it to it as tight as possible. You see how tight it is on the back? There's no space here. Okay, so that's the next step. Once again, we'll start from the beginning. The gi's already out now. This is easy. We've already been training a little bit. I don't have to pull it out. Boom. Control. Gi comes out. Pass it. A little bit of a pit stop, like a fish. Hand comes underneath. Pass it to it as tight as possible. And you'll see why later. If it's looser, you can still do some of the stuff we're going to do, but this is the way you want it. You want it really, really tight from the beginning, okay? Now we're going to try that next little piece of a step, and then we're going to go into the attacks from here, okay? So let's give that a shot. Any questions so far about that part? Everybody got that? Okay, let's go to the next part. 1, 2, 3. I know we're breaking this down into small steps, but for some people this is new. So maybe some people you've done this before, but I just want to make sure that people understand some of the basic entries. These are not all the ways to set it up, but this is a common way that I do it. Any questions? Does anybody have anything so far? Okay. Now, this is where the fun stuff comes on. Now we have a basic idea of how to set it up, and now we're going to start attacking from this position, all right? So we're here. We did this attack, or this breakdown. Do it over. Come underneath. We do the hand switch. Okay, now, the first attack that we're going to do with this, and I think it's one of the highest percentage, at least for me, is basically like a normal cross collar choke, but we're using the gi. Okay? A couple variations we're going to do. The first one, so we're here. One other thing I want to keep in mind. Now, if he's a strong guys are always going to be trying to push on you to make space because they want this to happen. So he can maybe try to put his head or something underneath. They'll duck it. This is a common way people will try to get out. So when I'm holding it here, if you're really strong, yeah, maybe you can keep most people down. But I like to keep a hold of the head just as a little extra insurance because it's hard for him to lift you up, especially with this grip. And if you have the head, it's going to be very difficult unless he's way bigger or way stronger. But just cheap insurance to try to keep him down. Okay, so the first attack, cross collar choke. So his head is obviously on this side right now, right? So I did the switch sometime and he'll end up here. So I need to get his head over here basically. I can't reach over on the other side because his head's in the way, all right? So I'm gonna step on the hip and you wanna keep the hip tight. You don't want it like this because then maybe he can step over. So you want a foot on the hip but tight into his rib cage, okay? And then this leg here, sort of like you're doing maybe an arm bar from the guard or you're doing a pendulum sweep. You're gonna bring him over like this. A little bit of a push with this arm and that. You understand? So here, this leg comes up. This arm is gonna come here. You have a very nice handle that you can grab onto. Sometimes you get the whole gi, sometimes it's part of it. And then you're just finishing the choke like you would do any cross collar choke. It just comes in. And the main part of the choke is this right hand. This is doing 75% of the work. This hand is basically just blocking it and pushing it into that side. Okay? So we've gotten here to this far, foot in the hip. This comes over. His head is now on this side of my center line, and it gives me an easy path to grab this and then just pull it in. It comes on really tight. It's much stronger than a normal, cross collar choke with your hands in there. This grip just makes everything so much more powerful. So we've done all this. We'll go do it from the beginning. Does anybody want to see it again? Maybe switch the slide a little bit from time. Maybe you can see some details. Good? Anybody want to see it again? Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Does everybody understand that pretty well so far? I know it's a little bit new, maybe to some of you, but do you guys generally understand what's happening here? Any questions so far about what we've done at all? You guys are a smart class. All right. Now, I'd like to think so at least. My mom thinks so. Okay, so we've gone through all this. We're here. Let's stop. Hand inside. Grip. Now, let's say he's giving me trouble here. Guys that have some experience know that if I get him over here, he's in bad shape, right? So they want to stop that. So they're going to do a few different things. One way that people are going to do it, some guys will just put their arm down like this to try to keep me from pulling him over, okay? This is probably the one I get the second most. And sometimes it's their hand pushing on you this way, trying to, so you can't get over. But let's say he's just like this. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the hand that's still free, and I'm going to grab this elbow, okay? So I'm just going to reach over, grab the elbow, this foot comes on the hip, and then I'm going to hip out, just like this, okay? And this is so strong, if you got it deep, that I can just finish it with one hand here. But, all right? Okay, so, set it up, bam, 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 bam. He's here, I'm having a hard time getting him over. Hand on the elbow, foot in the hip to the outside. And basically what's happening, guys, his arm is now what your arm did on the first choke. You understand? His arm is now on the way. And if I had this deep enough, it's literally just as easy as me going and kind of pulling myself into him a little bit. So I have it here, and I'm here, and I just pull it on. I like to hold the head because, once again, control. Maybe he's really strong, and he could like come do a push-up on the ground and something. So I like to hold the head, the top of the head, to keep him controlled down, and then turn it on. You can also put your hand back over on the other side if the arm isn't doing it. So you have some options. But if it's really tight and you have this super tight, all you have to do is just pull. So you're just taking your arm and pulling as you do like this, like you're hammering a nail or something. Here, and then just, I'm trying to pull my arm to that wall right there.
Can you show from the side?
Yes, of course. And if you guys have any questions about any of this I'm showing you, if you see me during the week, in the bar, whatever, I'm happy to show you, okay? Better in the bar, probably. We're here. So he's blocking me here. I can't get him. Elbow, foot on the hip, hip out. I'm here. You guys see, this wrist is just doing this. Here, and I'm just twisting him up right there. You guys get that? Any other questions? You want to see it again? Yes. You want to hear a dirty joke? You want to see it again? Okay. I thought you wanted the dirty joke, but let's go. Dirty joke. Dirty joke. We'll get to them. He's got to just stopping me here. Elbow, foot on the hip. Always, guys, when you got the foot on the hip, you don't want it open like, you're one of those ladies who open legs for money. You don't want that. So always tight to him. It means you're going to be able to move him around. So this comes here. Hip out. And then literally, you can put him to sleep easily. Control the head, extra posture. If you can't get it, you can still come back to the other side and do the choke with the arm in, and it's extra brutal. When that happens sometimes, if you have to go through all that, it's probably because the first hand wasn't deep enough, right? If it's deep enough, it's gonna go. Make sense? Go choke somebody now, all right? 1, 2, 3. Does everybody have it? Is everybody getting that? Is it working for you? Is the other person going, oh, like this? That means it's working if they do that. Any questions so far? Everybody good? Sometimes some guy over here is like, he wasn't tapping out even when he did it. Look, if the grip's not 100% deep perfectly, he has a really big neck, big shoulders, he has no neck, these things come into play sometimes, but there are always options. But with this grip, it's very safe. That grip, if you got it deep, they have to deal with that. They can't pass your guard and all that stuff with that grip in there. So we're gonna move on. If plan B, plan C, these are the things we're doing now. If they do this, you do this, all with the same grip. So let's say a couple things happen, which is kind of common. So we've gone through everything. We have the grip. You have it here. He has this. I do this, and I just can't submit him from here. And it happens sometimes. Maybe your hand slipped a little bit down, so it's loose. Maybe he's just tough. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go to the back, right? That's 4 points, guys. So what I like to do here, I'll grab this hand. I'll turn around and do it for you guys on this side as well. But I'll grab this, and then at this point, I'm gonna let go of the grip, and I'm gonna come up here and grab onto his sweet ass, his pants, whatever it is. His pants, guys. Don't be dirty. So here, and I'm gonna pull him as I just scoot out. I'm here on the back. That's 4 points. And then I can attack. Whatever, I mean, then you're into a whole different world, okay? I'll show it one more time this way, then I'll switch. Here. Control. Open. Big neck, no neck, I can't get him. Grab this here. I like to pull it across. I sit up, grab his hip. The further you get it, the better. I kind of like right on his edge, right where that little loop thing is. And then I just strip out. We're on the back. We're in a perfect position already to choke. My hand is right there. Let's turn around. And this is just stuff from this side. We're going to go to the other side too, because that happens also. Can't choke him, doesn't work. Here. Sure.
So you push his wrist?
Huh?
You push his wrist away?
Yeah, push his arm away, because otherwise, if I let go and I don't push it, he's going to turn back in. So this pins him in that direction. Like try to turn it in. Even that, just try to turn, it's hard, right? Grab the hip, pants, whatever you can grab. There's always a bit of fabric right here that's good. And then basically I'm kind of just shrimping backwards. Usually you'll just get it in one pull. Just like that. Look where my hand's at. This happens a lot, just like this. You're right on the choke already. Or if the collar, if you want, whatever you want, you're right there.
So it's like not really important that you take his hand because then you can absorb too. Well,
This is a whole nother area,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you can, the hand, but what ends up happening because when the arm goes across, and your hand is right there in a natural choking position
yeah,
already.
because you pull the hand before you
Right. Because what happens is when I pushed it across, my hand is kind of in front of his neck already. So once I pull him, it's very easy to just go right into a choke or a short choke or a collar choke if that's what you want to do. So this is all options. This is all up to you. Sometimes maybe as you turn, he's grabbed your hand and that's a different situation. So, does everybody understand that back takes now? Any questions about that? 1, 2, 3. Does everybody get that so pretty good? I know it's a little bit, we're kind of getting more advanced a bit, but as you get better at jiu-jitsu or do more jiu-jitsu or practice these things, all these positions will get more understandable. Any questions so far? Does everybody get that pretty well?
A straight arm, that we sort of stick our thumb in order to get the 4 fingers
Yeah, so I was going to mention that. You don't put your fingers inside the gi. That's illegal, okay? So what you're going to do is just basically like this. Grab it, towards the end. So just grab it somewhere without putting your finger, however you want to grab it. It doesn't matter exactly. I like this shovel grip. We just kind of roll it around your fingers and that pushes out. Don't put your fingers in there because if you're in a tournament, they can disqualify you for that. All right, so we're going to move a little bit quicker and then at the end I'll kind of recap everything. So what ends up happening, a couple of different things. So we've basically countered some defenses that he's doing from this side, right? From this arm. Now what happens a lot of times, we're here. It's a common defense to to somebody doing a collar choke. Answer the phone. You'll get guys that do this, right? This happens all the time. I'm sure you guys have seen it. So all we're going to do, this is basically another back take sort of from the other side. You're going to push here on the elbow and pull him down. You got it? So you're here, push on the elbow. I like to put the foot, you don't have to always do it. I like to put the foot on the hip just to give me a little more rotation. So here, and then hand goes underneath the armpit. Okay? So we'll just do that step, and then I'll show you what I'm trying to do. So we're here, here. He answers the phone. Here. Now I'm going to be under here, under his neck. Feed the lapel here. Okay? You see this? I'm feeding it under his armpit to my hand. And now I'm grabbing here. You just squeeze. I'm kind of pushing my groin into his back. And then just kind of arching my back. So we're here. He wants to answer the phone. Basically just giving me the back or other things. This comes out. I'm under here. I feed this. Does everybody see that? Pretty good. I'll turn around. And now I go in front of the face, grab the tricep, and then I'm pulling my elbow back as I just arch. It's very tight. Even though his arm's inside it, it doesn't matter. You all right, Gareth? Wait. Just turn around. This one is going to take a little bit more time to get right. We're out of time, but anybody during the week has any questions, there's more to it than this. So, just ask. Over here. Answer the phone. Like a little baby, just kick you. Yeah. Kind of got it, maybe. Anybody want to say it again? One more? One more? Yeah. All right. I'll do it slow, a little bit. Let's see. Experts, everybody got it? All right, let's give it a shot. Just a couple minutes. We're running out of time. And at the end, I'll recap and I'll show you a couple bonus techniques because they're filming it, and you'll be able to check those out later if you want to review them. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, we're running out of time. I know you didn't get a lot of time with that last one we did. A couple of quick points about that. Sometimes if they have like a shorter gi or their gi's kind of tight on them, it's hard to get it around. It's just something you can try. Sometimes it works perfectly. If you got long arms, you can really get up in there. If you have a short arm and their gi's short and they're little, it doesn't work every time because of the fit, the dynamics of the gi and how long it is and all these other things. So I'm just going to recap some of the stuff we did. I'll show you a couple bonus things. We'll take a picture and then I'll let Steve come up and give you guys the next class, all right? So we'll just start. We'll recap everything real quick. First thing we did was the breakdown. There's other ways to do this, so if you want other options, see me this week. So here, we're swimming, praying to Jesus. Hi, Jesus. Here, pit stop, little fish. Number 1. Number 2. If I can't get it, I can go back over here. 2.1. Here, grab, hit. All right? The other one. The last one we did. He answered the phone. Here, inside. Hold this tight when you do that because it gives you more room. Here, in front of the face, and a squeeze. Now, if you can't get this, guys, you can just take the badge. That's always an option too. If you can't squeeze them, just scoot out like you did the other side. You can almost do the same exact way. If you're here, you can't get it, let's say I have a grip, you can grab this. It's the same deal on the other side. Just take the back. Another one little variation that I didn't show in class, I'll just show you real quick as a bonus. This happens a lot. He pushes on the bicep, okay? So I have the grip. Let's say I have, sorry, forgot the most important part. Here, he puts it on the arm. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come here and I'm doing this. I'm bringing my arm inside and all this happens at one time. It's like an arm lock, but I still have this in there. Bicep. Arm in here. I can finish the choke with one hand. I can push down, finish the choke more. I got a combination, arm lock. I can do it all. So that's a bonus one for you guys. I think we're about out of time. If you have any questions, grab me, slap me, buy me a beer. That's probably the best way. Any questions about anything we showed so far before we take a photo? Nothing?
What about the dick joke?
Huh?
The dick joke?
That was very good.
Oh, the dick joke? Man, you got me on the spot. Trust me, you're going to have plenty of them this week. More than you can ever imagine. But I'm going to keep this PG because we're on regular television. All right, guys, thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys coming out. I know it's the first class. You guys just got done rolling, beating each other up. Thank you very much for coming. And again, thanks to Christian for setting it all up. And appreciate it.